Peace and greetings, family. I hope that everyone is doing well. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about the cycles of time, the color of white. Now, many of us are not used to being aware of operating within multiple cycles at once, because it can be a mind-boggling process when we begin to touch parts of our brain that have never been used before. But contemporary science tells us that humans only use 10% of their brain. And that was before the bombardment of the metaverse, increasing technology that uses F waves. Those are the electrical low frequency waves that Dr. Delbert Blair warned us about. And AI that wants to do more than just tedious work. It wants to think, it wants to feel, and it wants to be better than us. Now, the 13-moon, 28-day Olmec Mayan calendar is natural and universal, while the Gregorian calendar specializes in promoting redundancy. In fact, the Gregorian calendar is a programming device. The Roman Catholic Church and governments all over the world use it as their account book. Its job is to create a feedback loop to keep us stuck on a meaningless, artificial merry-go-round that keeps us serving their agenda while steering us away from our inner world, and to naturally look to the heavens for signs like our forefathers did. Signs in the sun, the moon, stars, and planets, along with messages that comets may bring. Now, the church calls it evil, while their telescope, Lucifer, pans the skies. Notice how the church and state dictate our behavior by sticking their agenda on the account books for us to either celebrate and or to follow. There's Secretary Day, Ice Cream Day, a Bible Week, a Black History Month, Hispanic Month, Irish History Month. And how is that helping us to resurrect our consciousness at a time when the earth is being inundated with demonic politicians, demonic elite, and demonic capitalists who desire to control the world? Valoum Votan, better known as Hosea Grelis, said, and I quote, "If we change the calendar, we change the time and change our mind," unquote. There's no reason for us to be a puppet, mentally stuck and telepathically impotent, when the grid can go out at any moment. How many of us can use our God-given gifts of telepathy? It goes beyond a hunch or a feeling or intuition, but it can start there if we learn how to trust our own power. We can't allow ourselves to be blindsided and dumbed down in the name of keeping up with technology. If the grid goes out, how many of us will have a conniption for not being able to access anything online? We know that babies do that now, and adults, okay? If war breaks out or the sun hits Earth with a coronal mass ejection, are we prepped? Are we ready mentally, spiritually, and physically? The Olmec Mayan calendar can guide us within the cycles of time and put us into connection with our higher self, our galactic missions, and our soul tribe, known as kin, that can help us. The 13-moon, 28-day calendar can put our minds back in natural order and show us how to enter into higher frequencies of existence. In the red heptad, we learned that we are in the blue rhythmic storm year, which essentially means that we have the power to self-generate ourselves to organize and balance whatever needs catalyzing in our lives. And this brings equality in our energy. Each moon has exactly 4 weeks of 28 days. We are still in the overtone moon, but are now in the white heptad, which stands for humility, refine, and meditation. Now, coming out of the red heptad, we have learned something. Our knowledge has increased, hopefully, or we have a better inner and understanding of what it is that we were initiated into or that we viewed. So we are now at humility. We want to have humility at this stage, which will cause us to go within. Now, humility means staying humble, of course, not only within ourselves, but towards others. Everyone has something to contribute that helps us to remember who we are, whether we believe that or not. We can't judge by how they look or what we've heard about them or feel as if their knowledge is beneath us and so we don't have to hear them. See, because that's the moment when we've set ourselves up to be humiliated. See, God speaks to whoever he chooses to speak through. And we don't have nothing to say about that, period. He even spoke through a donkey. So who the hell do we think we are to sit up on the judgment seat? Humility and humiliation are two different words, yet they virtually have the same letters. When we don't humble ourselves, it usually means that we don't see a reason why we should. We don't see our feet of clay. As far as we're concerned, we've got it going on, at least until we're humiliated in some form or fashion. Funny how that causes us to go within then, doesn't it? All the way in, to lick our wounds, to ride the pity train, to find fault with the perceived accuser of our weakness or of our unawareness, before we begin to self-reflect in the realization that we don't know everything. Humiliation comes when we smell our own shit. Humility comes after the pain and shame and anger wears off. We desire to effect a change in our flawed character. We all have it. Family, we're all working towards our evolution in order to join the rest of our galaxy in the great heavenly reset. So we have work to do. With staying aware of humbleness, we now go within and refine any impurities or unwanted attitudes by working on removing them. If this isn't your case, and humbleness is a fixture in your character, refining can also mean making small changes toward improving any attributes that we may have. Nothing wrong with polishing up our gifts and developing them. And we all have something in our lives that can be refined. We stay humble by not looking over at somebody else and judging their process of refinement when we are all in different classrooms in this school called Earth. Meditation is the practice of focusing the mind to train it for attention and awareness. Many people don't like meditation because the distractions are too great. The Gregorian calendar is there to remind you of some appointment that you have, some day that there is that needs to be celebrated. Social media is there making sounds through your cell phone to bring you a message that a reply was left on your post. Yet, from a physical standpoint, meditation promotes relaxation to our central nervous system that is bombarded by 5G, 6G, 10G energy wave frequencies coming at our cellular structures from the cell phone, the computers, from the phone masts, from cell towers, televisions, everywhere we go. Spiritually, meditation helps us to tap into our higher selves and promotes patience, self-awareness, and the ability to cultivate telepathy. Kin 140, yellow planetary sun, with the power of universal fire, action to enlighten, and essence of life. We're getting ready to break down the mechanisms involved between the matrices and our ability to comprehend the interactions occurring on this plasma. Time, V17H5. Time is located in the second time dimension of cosmic ascension that calls for concentrated focus. We are focusing on our decree. The fourth mental sphere calls for continuing consciousness, meaning that whatever we're waiting for to unfold in our life, it should never be allowed to leave our minds. Time is how everything happens at once, because it is a universal factor of synchronicity. In order for synchronization to coordinate all phenomena telepathically, we have to look at the factors. Time is directly on the 3D, 4D alternator phase. This means that the factors of time are ascending from our psi in the third dimension to the ESP in the sixth dimension. I decode it as ascending because time is in the second time dimension of cosmic ascension. Space, V7H16. Space is an infinitely locatable point. It is in the third time dimension where our physical bodies are located, known as cosmic synchronization, and the second mental sphere, where informative samadhi reveals things from our subconscious. This quadrant is where the intergalactic channel Alpha Beta operates. Space is activating on the seventh magnitude of ESP, the sixth dimension. This is subliminal communication being activated from the subconscious into our physical space. Our space may feel supernatural, something may seem different or familiar. Perhaps it's an experience, a place, or activity that was totally forgotten that pertains to our decree. Synchronicity, V11H21. Synchronicity is the operation of a higher moving template of mathematical order that coordinates all phenomena telepathically. It always puts me in the mind of the Matrix, with the green background and numbers descending. It is the fourth dimensional reality located in the eighth time dimension, seventh mental sphere. The events that unfold in our space, whether viewed favorably or not, is synchronicity. Here it is located in the octave of galactic art whole. Rune 89, Morphogenesis, establishes galactic art whole. In other words, our synchronicity is being shaped and formed. Think of the Matrix when the guy shaped and formed the woman for the program, and she had that red dress, and he placed it within that program, and it synchronistically showed up. Remember? The universal energy of morphogenesis is establishing galactic art whole for our decree. Peace to the gods.